pleasure to be back. I was here last year. Just a quick show of hands. I'm curious. Anybody see my talk last year or remember it? Let's put it that way. Anyone remember it? All right. Yeah. So AI is constantly changing. I'm honored, lucky, pleased to have the role of being in charge of AI and analytics for Oracle Construction and Engineering. So I bring to the role about 20 years in the construction technology world, primarily in startups, actually. Been now at Oracle for 2 years after they acquired the AI startup that I started that was focused on AI for safety. So I came into Oracle about 2 years ago after spending the prior 8 years trying to figure out and successfully delivering multimodal AI for safety in construction projects. So figuring out how best you can use photos, how best you can use structured data like your safety observations to try and figure out which projects are at greatest risk for a safety incident, why, and what to do about it. So today, in 20 minutes, and Ken runs a tight ship, so I know I'll get yanked off the stage if I don't get this done on time. I'm going to give you folks a window into Oracle, our overall AI strategy, how it ties into construction and engineering. And I don't think you can really do an AI conversation without actually showing it because there's so much hype out there. I want to show you a couple examples of things we are doing today at Oracle in terms of AI and tie it back to the strategy around what and how we believe you should deliver AI. Spoiler alert, we believe it should be a part of just how you work and not be a separate thing that you have to go to. It should be embedded into your workflows. And because we at Oracle have a whole stack of workflows from construction all the way to the back office, there's a lot of places for us to put AI, and we're actively working on it. So if you have to take 1 point away from my presentation, maybe it's the jokes at the end, but hopefully other than the jokes at the end, it's also that Oracle's working very hard right now on embedding AI across our stack. Okay, so with that as your preview, let's get into it. So why is Oracle spending so much time and energy on AI? Well, for us, Oracle Corporation, 160,000 people, roughly $56 billion a year in revenue. It's even as a company that big, you need a mission statement. The mission statement of Oracle is what you can read here. It's basically all aligned around making data valuable to our customers. Help our customers see data in new ways, discover insights, and unlock endless possibilities. That's the core mission statement for the entire Oracle Corporation. So I'm here from construction and engineering. We're a business group within Oracle. We also have an entire infrastructure team that builds cloud services and AI services. We have a whole back office set of software. All of us are united by this mission, which is to make AI and make data useful. What's the way you make data useful? You actually apply AI. So to put some meat behind this, let me just show you a few different snapshots of what we're doing at Oracle. We're making really big investments, $10 billion in data centers. So the core of what we're doing starts actually at bare metal. We build up from there in terms of our AI capabilities. We're going global. So AI, both sovereign and private clouds available through Oracle all around the world. Here's us announcing $8 billion for cloud computing and infrastructure in Japan. Adding and embedding AI into our core applications, as I mentioned. This is an announcement about what we're doing in our Fusion. So that's our cloud-based back office ERP set of applications, things like finance, things like human capital management, supply chain. I'm going to show you, this is one of the two demos I'm going to show you actually, is how we're embedding AI across the Fusion applications and across our applications overall. And then last but not least, to make AI valuable, what do you need? You need data. We at Oracle have fundamentally adopted a multi-cloud, multi-data strategy. If you've known us over the years, this actually seems kind of crazy. It used to be Oracle or nothing. But now if you watch and if you pay attention to what Oracle has done, we are now fundamentally a multi-cloud platform. If your data is in AWS, if your data is in Azure, if your data is in Google Cloud, it doesn't matter. You can bring it all together into Oracle. And that's not just some technology stuff in the back end. These are CEO level partnerships that are being announced every year. We just announced actually our AWS partnership at Cloud World this year. Larry did. So this is an example of our partnership with Microsoft and how we have Microsoft and Oracle Cloud sub 8 millisecond interconnect co-located data centers. So wherever your data is, we can use it to get value for AI. So at Oracle, we believe the benefits of AI are staggering. In my talk last year, I talked about the pincer approach, which is generative AI, and how ChatGPT became the fastest application to 1 million users. 5 days it took it, fastest in the history of the internet. I like to call that that basically we're, as business professionals, we're being attacked in a pincer kind of movement, where from the bottom, our children are using ChatGPT to do their homework. Just show of hands, anybody's kids, don't worry, there's no one will report you. Anybody's kids talk about using ChatGPT? Yeah, mine too. And then that's one arm. Pincer is a attack method where you get attacked from two sides. So from the bottom, we're getting the kids, and then from the top, the boards of directors of pretty much every company in the world are either seeing their kids doing it, or they're seeing all the hype on out there, and they're saying, well, what are we as a company doing about AI? So there's massive potential. Now, a year later, we're seeing some of that potential realized. At Oracle, we see productivity benefits, we see new ways of working, and then we see new insights that businesses can create from traditional AI and new generative AI models. The problem is that as business leaders, we have a dilemma. There's a huge opportunity for things like large language models, the things that drive ChatGPT or Cohere or Llama or any of these other large language models. There's massive potential, but what the early results are from Forrester is that companies that try and go it alone, it's hard to make it work. From both a technology standpoint, there's a lot of different pieces here. Your data access, the extensibility, how you actually build models, it gets complicated. And it also is hard if AI is just sitting on the side. There's actually a really fascinating article in the New York Times, it was about a week ago, where they just did a study where they gave doctors an AI model to use to help them with diagnoses. What they found is that if the doctor knew how to use a prompt, in other words, they knew what to do with the technology, cut and paste, in this case, all of the medical history of a patient into a prompt, and then ask it a specific question. If they knew what to do, their ability to diagnose patients actually got better. It got more accurate. But most doctors didn't know what to do. Like you have a prompt, like I'm a doctor. If I'm a doctor, what do I do with that? And that's why we believe really strongly that you need to bring AI inside. You need to bring AI inside of the applications that you're building, embedded into the workflows themselves. So this is the overall Oracle strategy, is to curate the best models, put them inside Oracle applications. That allows your data to stay there and not be going to a third party, and then update those models over time. The example, and I've been in AI for construction, as I mentioned, for a number of years now. The example I like to use is how a really simple one is autocorrect, right? Or auto-suggest. Or another one is is anyone here ever on your phone, have you ever tried to find a photo and you go into search? Yeah, it's been there for a while, right? 10 years. So I'm a very strong believer that AI is going to be normalized, just like photo search or autocorrect or auto-suggest. It's going to be a way we work. And I'm going to show you some specific examples of that in Oracle products today. So how does it map to what we're doing overall? We're here to talk about capital programs and construction. There's a whole stack that Oracle, as our giant corporation, enables. From the cloud infrastructure side, see if this has a laser pointer on it or not. Nope. Okay. I'll just use my mouse. So on the bottom here, on the cloud infrastructure side, all the bare metal and IT infrastructure, cloud services. If you're using AWS or Azure today, and you're trying to do AI experiments or trying to run your cloud, look at OCI. It's actually one of the fastest growing parts of Oracle. We're consistently winning core cloud infrastructure business away from companies like Azure, away from AWS. Oracle Fusion, back office software in the cloud, powered by Oracle. Everything from HCM through to financials to supply chain. your enterprise performance management. It's a whole back office suite built from the ground up on the cloud. And then there's the set of technologies that you may, know and use today. Who here uses Primavera for scheduling in your work? Just quick show of hands. Yep. Obviously, that's Oracle. Who here has used Unifier for capital program portfolio management? Yep. Hands out there. That's a whole platform for managing financial as well as business operations aspects of your capital program. Textura for payments, Aconex for capital program and controls and document controls. All of those products are in this top tier. And then they're unified at the top by something we call the Construction Intelligence Cloud. The Construction Intelligence Cloud is a product that I help manage. It brings together all the data from Oracle and non-Oracle products and delivers executive level AI. And that's what I'm going to get into right now. How AI for capital programs can help both at the process level and then also at the executive level. And I'll finish in less than 9 minutes. So if you remember that stack bar chart I just showed you, in the middle was your back office. So this is a 1-minute demo here that shows how, back to the point I keep making, AI is being embedded into the core workflows of the back office products and other products that we have at Oracle. This is an example of a human resources rep putting together a job description. And what you'll see as this zooms into their screen is that they're gathering up a set of basic information about the job description as they create the posting. And then it goes and the AI actually writes the rest of the posting for them. It's taking what you as a human, as a knowledgeable expert have as your input and then running with it. It's like having an assistant or an agent that helps actually automate these tasks. You can see as it's going through, you're able to here also interact with it manually. But as it went through that process, you may have seen that there was you may have seen a rotating bar going around the input box there. That's Oracle AI working, again, just like autocorrect. This is now autocomplete, but for specific tasks in your process. As a core concept, by the way, we do not believe that AI should do the job of a human. I'll say it again. We do not believe that AI should do the job of a human. There has to be a human in the loop to review what's done, especially in our industry. You cannot, and it goes the same for kids' homework too. You have to review, you have to provide input back so that there's human agency and responsibility in the process. Here's another example of where that comes up. So I just showed HR. Let's look at, there are a lot of hands going up about scheduling, right? Here's AI building a schedule. This is a feature that we're working on for Oracle Primavera Cloud right now. What it does is it goes from the concept of a construction document. In this case, it's an RFP. So I know we have mostly owners here, but this is from a contractor perspective. We're working with some owners also around this concept here from actually a scope document. The first thing that it just showed is it pulled out the details of the project from the RFP or the scope document, and now no prompt. We're not in the situation like the doctors. There's no prompting by the end user. It's all done programmatically on the back end. The data that was pulled out using AI from the project document is fed into a model that understands project type, delivery method, location, and other constraints, which you can then augment with your own user-provided input. And the net outcome is a preliminary schedule. Think of this as a pre-bid schedule, 60%. Work breakdown structure level 1 with underlying activities, but instead of being in a text document, it's actually in Oracle Primavera Cloud as a schedule. With predecessors and successors, with hard-coded constraints coming in from the construction document. In this case, it's an RFP, so you know when construction starts, when it's supposed to finish, when bids are due, et cetera, et cetera. And it's a starting point. Think of it as a schedule template on AI steroids, where it's getting a user off of having to create everything manually, taking 5 to 8 hours, and now this takes 5 minutes. Again, a human needs to add to this. You need to go in, you need to verify the durations, you need to make sure that the logic connecting the activities is correct, but In our testing with customers, it's saving 5 to 8 hours per schedule. And this is really important for some of the owner customers we've talked to, it's helping drive consistency. So it's a way to get a consistent scheduling practice and to deal with the massive backlog of schedules that we need to create in Primavera in our organizations. So we're not stopping there. So those two examples were about saving time. If you saw my talk last year, I can do a lot of hand waving and spending time about the think of it as a spectrum of AI. The short story is it goes from saving time for an individual user, like AI for invoice processing or that HR example I showed, up to the upper right, which is helping decision makers, heads of programs, project managers, VPs of risk, VPs of safety, helping decision makers make better decisions about where to focus their time. That's called predictive analytics. It's like some of the autocomplete stuff. It's been around for many years, but now with large language models, with computer vision, it's getting a lot better. The reason you can take more data in as input to your predictive model. For the engineers in the audience, there's like a signal. There's more signal for us to use to be able to actually use to predict outcomes. So what we're doing is, in addition to making people's jobs faster and easier, like the two examples I just showed, we're putting a whole new tool set into the hands of decision makers for capital programs. That new tool set is called the Construction Intelligence Cloud. And in one slide, this is what we're doing. It's predictive models for each of the core risk areas or risk pillars of capital program delivery, starting with safety, which we have available today, and I'll show you a demo next of that, schedule, collaboration, quality, and finance or cost. For each of these, we know that there's data in your current systems, whether it's Oracle systems or non-Oracle systems, that's very powerful in terms of predicting outcomes along each of these dimensions. In the safety arena, for example, every week, we gather data from your payroll system, from your safety observation system, from your incident management system. We gather the weather. And what we do is we predict which projects are at greatest risk of a safety incident based on all those inputs. The projects are re-ranked every week. It's like a week look ahead, done by AI for you. And each one of these features that the AI agent looks at, let's, for example, check out Voice Tower here. Why is it number 2? These are all the reasons why. They're all actionable. It's not a black box that just says, hey, operations person, trust me, I'm AI. That doesn't work. The AI needs to give specific actionable recommendations that, when taken, result in data changing, like you should be doing more observations on site. Based on the number of man hours that are being worked, your observation ratio to man hours worked is out of whack. Another specific suggestion, your ratio of foreman to trade partner labor is out of whack. Based on the predictive models that we've seen, we know that you need to be in this band to minimize your risk of a safety incident on site. Another set of data, in the 2 minutes I have left, is photos. So if you're taking progress photos, or the contractor's taking progress photos, we pass them through a computer vision engine and we look for indicators of risk, like, is work at height going on? Like, here's an extension ladder. What's the phase of construction? All of that, again, is more signal to feed the predictive model that's in the CIC, in this case for safety. But we're not stopping there. We are also bringing in a whole set of features from your schedule. So things like activity stacking, things like types of activities going on and the hazards that are associated with those. The next set of Construction Intelligence Cloud, or CIC modules, as I mentioned, safety is available today, will be around schedule. If you're interested in partnering with us on the schedule journey, we're working with a bunch of our customers around the specific predictive models themselves, the data inputs, the data science that we do behind them. Because fundamentally, at the core of what we're doing with the CIC is we're building pre-built adapters to gather the data, transform it, then run it through models that have been trained across data sets and can then be turned on and fine-tuned for your own specific capital program, because each is different. Okay, so in the 30 seconds I have left, I always like to leave with a joke or two, because I also want everyone to understand that there are limits to AI, right? So here's the first reality check. If you think, oh, AI is going to replace us, it's going to replace, all of our jobs. The first question I would ask AI is, hey, can you tell the difference between a chihuahua and a muffin? Computer vision AI still does a bad job of telling the difference between chihuahuas and muffins. So If you have an existential dread of AI, you should know it's very purpose-built. And this is traditional computer vision. Well, you could say, well, that's computer vision stuff. Let's look at large language models. So in that one, here's my reality check number 2, which is new for this year, Ken. It's let's ask AI to design the first floor of a residential home. Let's see what we get there. This might be too small for you to read. I think it is. If you look at the top there, it has a room called the Plach, P-L-A-C-H. In the middle is something called the Bimchem, B-I-M-C-H-E-M. And that's not a bathroom, that's a bat room, spelled B-A-T-R-R, 3 O's, O-M. Don't get me wrong. There are amazing generative AI products out there for generative design. I'm reinforcing the point here that you need to use the right tools tuned for our industry and not just try and use something like ChatGPT off of the shelf, because you will get pretty bad results. And that's the exciting part of the journey that we're on at Oracle, is taking and working with our really deep construction knowledge and working with customers like you all in the audience to deliver on the massive promise of AI that we're seeing in our customers today. I'll leave you with this thought. We have public case studies around the use of predictive analytics for safety that show Suffolk Construction dropping their total reportable incident rate 57% in the first year. Bolt Construction dropping their incident rate by 10% in the first year. But because you might say, well, that's not that much. The incident severity decreased so much that their workers' compensation costs dropped by 75%. So we're seeing real results from these technologies when they're applied in the right way, in the right targeted way as a part of an embedded process. We're excited to work with you as Oracle as you move on this journey to implementing them for our industry. Thank you. Appreciate the opportunity to speak.